For those who missed our earlier analysis, I want us to have a look at a very interesting requirement that IEBC has put forth for candidates seeking elective positions. If you look at IEBC's website, you will find these requirements for elective posts must not have been dismissed or removed from public office for contravening the provisions of Article 75, 76, 77, and 78 of the Constitution. That's a requirement that IEBC has put for any aspirant seeking any elective post. It's in IEBC's website. Anybody who has been impeached, IEBC will not clear that person to run. So technically, that locks out Rigathi Gachagua. It bars Rigathi Gachagua from contesting for any seat. And also, if you look at Article 75, Clause 3 of the Kenyan Constitution, it also stipulates that an impeached person is not eligible to hold another state office. I want us to understand the possible next course of action for the opposition, and more specifically for Rigathi Gachagua, now that he can't contest for the presidency. What does that portend for Ruto and for the opposition leaders such as Kalonzo Musyoka, Matiang'i, and the rest? If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Let's proceed. What are some of the political implications of Rigathi Gachagua being barred from contesting for the presidency come 2027? Because in our early analysis, it's very clear Rigathi is not eligible to contest for any seat in any election. What are some of the political implications? The first political implication, there might be voter apathy on the mountain. Voter turnout will be lower than what we normally see. In 2022, there was no strong Kikuyu candidate on the ballot, and the voter turnout on the mountain was around 60%. In the previous elections, we've seen voter turnouts of almost 90%. So in 2027, if there will be no strong Kikuyu candidate on the ballot as a presidential candidate, we might see a lower voter turnout than what we saw in 2022. It can even be something below 50%. And if that's the case, then William Ruto's side will clearly gain. The lower the turnout on the mountain, the more gains William Ruto gets. Because even those who will turn out, there will still be a split. Some will vote for Rigathi Gachagua's candidate. Some will vote for William Samoei Ruto. So the first implication, there will be voter apathy. The second political implication, in the event Rigathi Gachagua will not offer his candidature, then the split in the opposition will be minimized. There won't be a major fallout. If Rigathi was to offer his candidature, then I'm almost very sure and very certain that Matiang'i will go for the presidency. Maybe Kalonzo here might also go for the presidency. If Rigathi is not a candidate, then he can decide to back either Matiang'i or Kalonzo Musyoka. So if at all there will be a fallout, only one will walk away, maybe Kalonzo or Matiang'i, but not the two, Kalonzo and Matiang'i. So a Rigathi Gachagua not on the ballot will minimize the fallout in the opposition. And that can work against William Samoei Ruto and his team. The third political implication, if Rigathi Gachagua will not be on the ballot, chances are very high that William Ruto and his team will have to go back to the drawing board. It's very easy to beat Rigathi Gachagua, but it can be very difficult to beat maybe a Matiang'i or a Kalonzo with a Rigathi Gachagua support. If Rigathi supports either Matiang'i or Kalonzo, William Ruto's team will find it a little bit difficult. And I'm saying that because with Matiang'i's candidature, for example, Kenyans might not vote along tribal lines for the first time in the history of this country. If you look at Matiang'i, his support base cuts across the country. So if the opposition will support Matiang'i, and in this case, if Rigathi will support Matiang'i, and maybe Kalonzo Musyoka as Matiang'i's running mate, maybe for the first time in the history of this country, we might see Kenyans not voting along ethnic lines per se. Some will still vote, but maybe a good number might abandon ethnic voting. So it will force William Ruto to go back to the drawing board, because that kind of a ticket, a Matiang'i Kalonzo's ticket, will give William Ruto a run for his money. And also, if you look at another political implication, Rigathi Gachagua is actually the de facto opposition leader currently. Our politics is always ethnic-based. Rigathi commands more ethnic votes than any opposition leader currently. When I talk about opposition leaders, I'm not including Raila Odinga, because Raila is in a handshake with William Samoei Ruto. I'm talking of the likes of Kalonzo and the Matiang'is. Rigathi commands more ethnic votes than Matiang'i and Kalonzo Musyoka. If he will not be on the ballot, it can also create some resentments against Ruto's government. The mountain can rebel against Ruto. They'll see as if William Ruto has deliberately blocked Rigathi Gachagua from contesting. So there can be that protest vote. Even those who had intended to vote for Ruto can cast a protest vote against him. And that again can solidify the mountain against Ruto. So it's a double-edged sword, both for the government side and for the opposition. At the end of the day, the bottom line will be, which candidate will the opposition field? If the opposition will field Kalonzo Musyoka, Kenyans might still vote along ethnic lines, but Kalonzo can perform better than Rigathi Gachagua. If the opposition will field Matiang'i, then maybe Kenyans for the first time might abandon ethnic style of voting, and they might just support Matiang'i. Let me stop it there. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Any person watching us outside Kenya, drop a comment, let us know from which part of the globe you are watching us from. If possible, subscribe, give the video a like. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya.